Okay, so first off, my YouTube channel has, my personal YouTube channel has been doing really good lately.
Even though you don't post any videos on it.
Yeah. And it's probably because I had so many car videos on there. People were working on their cars or looking for ideas to do for their car or something. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about that, and I have still came up with maybe 2 different ideas. Do you have any ideas for that?
Well, you probably shouldn't say them out loud on the podcast.
Why? I mean, like, it's not like either way I'm going to do it more than likely.
Fair enough.
You know, because a lot of the stuff we talk about, we don't.
Maybe
we
we'll
don't
put
do.
it out there so somebody else can do it for you.
You know how long that's that food that you brought, that seafood that you brought, the canned seafood.
What, a month and a half?
Yeah, it's been up there because you wanted to do a video on it, and we still haven't done it yet.
That's a good point. We're supposed to eat it on the podcast.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we could just put it at the end of this podcast.
That works. Maybe you'll see that. Maybe you won't. It's a surprise.
So, do you have any ideas off the top of your head? Like, what could Brian make YouTube videos about? I've been thinking, like, the last videos that I've posted was, it was me reading books and then yelling at people for not reading books.
Well, here's my thought. When you talk about the car videos, there's some, but there's not a lot of car YouTubers with that many subscribers, right? Like, there's a lot of videos with millions and millions of views because it's like, how to change the headlight in a 2012 Subaru Legacy 2.5i Limited. That sounds easy. It's not easy. I watched 4 videos to figure out how to do it, all right? I wasn't taking my bumper off. Regardless, those videos blow up, but nobody subscribes because they're like, all right, I got the video I need. This is the video I need. I don't need to subscribe. So that's where, like, I think it's wise to move away from the car videos. But what I think you should do is just do what you do to all the Twitch streamers and just record that. You want to talk about that?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about it? Do you even remember?
I remember. I think maybe you should say it, though, because I'm not the one that was doing it.
Basically, we were harassing smaller. We go on Twitch. We look for, oh, okay, he only has 30 viewers. Oh, he only has 40 viewers. And my idea is, okay, I want to mess with the chat. I didn't want to talk to the people, but they made it so hard to not say shit to them.
Well, the one dude, you called him a gay. And he didn't. Well, I don't think he really picked up on that.
And I didn't call him a gay. I said that it was
you said
a stream for gays.
No, you said that it sounded like he had a plastic mic or a plastic bag over his microphone, and then he told you there's a million other Twitch streamers to go listen to, and you said that you would, but there's not that many gays on here, so you have to take what you can get.
Yeah.
So what does that imply?
And
that the dude is gay.
Well, what about the the cooking girl? That kind of made me feel worse than.
I think you just hurt her feelings a little bit.
No, she had high-waisted jeans on, and if you know
she had like a mole. Is that what it was?
It had to have been that or like a birthmark or something. But I was like, why is your belly button up so high? Because it's like right where her sternum was. I was like, why is your belly button up so high? And she's like, why is my belly button up so high?
She's like, what are you talking about?
What are you even talking about?
She like slipped down the front of her jeans, and you could clearly see her belly button was covered up. And Brian's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then he proceeded to make remarks about her chest.
Well, granted, the camera was aimed directly at her chest, and I was like, "Why are you aiming the camera at your chest if you're not packing?"
Well, to be fair, she was a cooking Twitch streamer, and it was kind of aimed at the stove. Being honest.
Not really.
Well, it's where she would have prepared the ingredients, which is obviously at chest level. Regardless, it was funny. I think she's the only girl that didn't block you.
And then we finally found
3 women that blocked you.
Yeah, we got blocked a lot. But one of them was we got on this girl, and as soon as we clicked on her video, it was like, all right, guys, well, I think I'm ending the stream. And then I was like, oh, I got to get this in. So I hurried up and typed it up. And I was like, you're leaving, or you're closing the stream
No, you said that you've been searching for 3 hours. I'll let you.
All right, yeah. Yeah, I've been searching for 3 hours for some quality jack-off material, and you're telling me you're closing your stream right now. And then, I don't think that, did she even notice it?
I don't think you've ever been blocked so quickly. I mean, it was literally like, bam, bam, you're banned from the chat.
I think that I got in another message right before, because I remember saying, I said that, and then I was like, oh, I gotta add this, and then I put nice feet though, and then it was like, nice feet, enter, bam, fucking click, fucking ban as soon as I hit that. And then we're like, okay, we go on to other streamers, and we're like, oh, they have their chat in the background where everybody can see it on the stream. So I was like, hey, I just went on to a bunch of them, and I was like, hey, the Useless Wisdom podcast talked about you in their newest YouTube video.
And they're like, really? One dude was like, he's like, what'd he say? And you're like, he said he DM'd you and you didn't respond, but he thinks you're cute.
He's like, I don't check my DMs.
So he wasn't, he was flattered, I think. All right, I have something to ask you about to see your opinion on.
Okay.
All right. Have you seen the moon landing video?
Conspiracy.
The video.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think
there's no stars?
Do you think we actually went to the moon when we say we did? Obviously, I think we've been to the moon. But when we first said we did, do you think that we went?
No, I think that 1960.
It could have been 2000. It could have been 1904. I don't know.
No, whenever the video was being live streamed, because I'm sitting there like, all right, so you're telling me that back then, their computers that they sent, a ship sent people to the moon with, were equivalent to a modern day calculator. So if you're telling me that, how the fuck did they live stream them stepping on the fucking moon? All
right?
How would they even do that?
I agree with your point, but I don't agree with your argument, because the computers that like universities may have had were equivalent to a modern day calculator, but NASA had the best computers
of 1960.
Look up when it was.
I'm almost
like
positive.
That's very pertinent. I'm pretty sure it was like 68.
When was the moon
Quit
landing?
shaking the table, Brian.
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah, you saw him stop.
1969.
1960. So it's almost 1970. So I think by that point, it's not too far-fetched to say that we could live stream, but I have enough trouble live streaming to Twitch from my house, let alone from the moon. So, maybe you're on to something?
Well, I know that some channels were, I don't know if all of them were, because obviously I wasn't alive in 1969.
Fair
but
enough.
I know that at some point they were, what they were showing on the cable networks were VHS tapes that were already recorded. They would take them, put them in the machine, and then they'd be streamed to the TV.
How?
So, I'm almost positive that we got to look up one more thing. Was the moon landing
live streamed?
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure that it was, because I remember hearing a story about, okay, so it was broadcast live around the world on July 21st, 1969. However, that doesn't even make sense, because I just looked it up and it said July 16th, 1969 was the moon landing. Okay. And they said it was live stream on the 21st. So were they already there for a couple days and then they did it?
I don't think so. Like, you go to the moon, you're like, hey, I want to go outside now, not almost a week from now.
I mean, they brought back a bunch of moon rocks.
One other thing
is tons and tons of moon rocks.
Well, my thing is, all right, so
have you heard the video of or the audio of, what was it? Neil Armstrong?
Neil
saying,
Patrick Harris?
Was it Neil deGrasse Tyson? Yeah. Did you hear the audio of Neil? Yeah, whatever. Okay, Mike Tyson talking on the but he was like, I don't know what this is, it's in the background. There is lights floating around us right now. Have you heard that?
I don't know if I watched that part of it.
That's kind of creepy. It's fun, creepy, and there was video too because it was like playing in the background of him like out the little porthole of the craft, and it was showing like these lights flying around. Now a lot of it can be staged.
Now my question is, before we move further into this, I want you. Did Russia ever go to the moon? Do you know the answer to that question?
I do not know the answer to that question.
I don't either. Has anybody else went to the moon? Are they allowed to go to the moon since we put a flag there? Is that kind of
no? We own it. It's sort of like Alaska.
Well, it's practically Puerto Rico.
It says Soviet Union, United States, Japan, the European Space Agency, China, India, Luxembourg, and Israel
have went to the moon, have stepped foot on the moon, or have sent like satellites and
well, no, actually, it doesn't even say that they've been to the moon. It just says missions to the moon have been conducted by the following nations and entities.
Okay, because here's my point. Here's where I was going. Because we were neck and neck with the Soviet Union, right? Like they said that they were close to going to the moon, and then we hadn't publicly declared that we were close yet, right? And then all of a sudden, here's footage of us up on the moon. Like, does that not seem a little fishy? Like, we're America. We boast about what we do. And then all of a sudden, bam, we're on the moon. There's no point to come here. There ain't nothing here.
You do have a point there. However, we don't know whether or not we've actually been to the moon.
Well, no, I feel like for sure we have been to the moon.
But
now,
I guess I have
about
to
that first time.
Yeah, the first time is what I'm talking about. But because we 100% have been to the moon, we have a laboratory completely focused on studying the moon rocks that we got back, and it's like the place that they're kept are in these little mobile carts that have the atmosphere
it's
of the
like
moon.
Atmospheric pressure.
Like atmosphere from the
moon.
Yeah, so that none of the bacteria, none of that stuff
dies,
or
the rock implodes from not having the right pressure or anything. But here's my thing. All right, why won't we go back to the moon?
What's the point?
Because time has passed that we don't know if it has changed. Rocks that we got from there 30 years ago may not be the same as the rocks that are there now.
We're more focused on going to Mars right now. I thought NASA wasn't working on shooting any more rockets up.
Well, I think they're
because SpaceX.
Well, Trump assembled the space team, right? What is it called? The space team? What is it? What did he call it?
Space Force.
Space Force, yeah, Space Force, and that's within NASA, right? But then isn't Elon Musk doing the same thing with SpaceX?
Well, I know that SpaceX has. I remember reading an article that said that they have successfully docked with the International Space Station. So for like it's not called, I guess you would just say refueling mission.
Just like to see if they could do it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, they just brought, I guess, rations to them or whatever. But why do we even have people up there? Like, what the fuck are they doing?
I don't know. Have they really said? There's a movie. I don't remember what it was called, but basically they went to the moon.
First
Apollo 13. I think that's what it was.
There's a series called like The First or something on Netflix.
No, it was a movie and it's called like Apollo 13, and it's like an imagining of why we won't go back to the moon. And the thing is, there's like creatures or something on the moon that like takes out this whole crew or whatever, and it basically explains why we're not going back to the moon.
Was the Earth actually round?
Yeah. Do you not think the Earth is round? It's not a perfect sphere, but it's roundular.
Well, in the Bible, I know you're a Bible thumper, so you'll probably get this.
Bible thumper.
In the Bible, it says that the Earth has been put on a pedestal or raised on a pedestal or something like that. So that would technically mean like.
Do you think you can't?
It's on a pedestal.
No, it's figurative speech, Brian.
You're the Bible thumper here. I'm just repeating what I heard.
I don't think they literally mean that the Earth is sitting on a big marble pedestal floating in the earth, floating underneath the earth. If that were true, literally, wouldn't we see the pedestal?
Well, that would mean that the Earth is round. I'm saying
round.
that.
Do you think the
it's
Earth is flat?
I'm just
Or are you
repeating.
just
I'm
making
just
an
repeating
argument?
what I've heard.
The Earth is not flat. I mean, that's just stupid. Obviously, the Earth is round.
Why is the Earth round? Why do you say the Earth is round?
So if there's an argument that if people argue the Earth is flat, right? Why don't they argue that the moon is flat or that Mars is flat?
Because are they even real? I thought they were just holograms.
No, you can see. All right, now you're just trying to piss me off. Is that what you're doing?
I'm just making the argument, man. Why do you think the Earth is round? Because you were told that the Earth is round?
We can see the moon, right? We can look.
Has anybody told you that the Bible's real, or did you come to that?
Well, you let me talk. If you look up in the sky and you see the moon, is the moon round? Yeah, it's round, right? You can see the moon. Okay, so when we send a dude up there into the space where they can see the Earth and it's round, how do you think it's flat?
Did we go to the moon? Because how are you supposed to land on a hologram? I still don't. I still don't understand your point. I'm not laughing here, dude. I'm being serious.
All right, let's move on to a new topic.
All right, you can't tell me why you think the Earth is round. I mean, like, did somebody tell you that?
Well, considering I'm not a scientist, we're not scientists who have done the research. We kind of have to believe other research, right?
Well, scientists go out to prove other people wrong.
You're right.
That's
the whole point of research, or to prove something right. Either to prove somebody wrong or to prove somebody right.
So why do you think the Earth is round? Because you were told? Why do you believe in the Bible? Because you were told?
Because common sense says the Earth is round.
Why do you think there's riots going on right now?
Please stop. I have another conspiracy theory to ask you about.
Okay.
I mean, I think we kind of took all right, first of all, let's just run through a couple questions to finish off the moon conspiracy theory. Then I have another one. All right. Do you think that we went to the moon the first time?
There was no stars.
Just answer me.
No.
Yeah. All right. So no. Do you think?
I don't think that it could be live streamed, and I don't think that I didn't see any stars. But you would 100% be able to see stars.
The flag was waving, but there is no wind on the moon.
That was one of the things. I'm not going to argue that just because.
I mean, I don't know for sure.
Moon rocks are really gritty, right? And they were talking about them always blowing around on the moon, and you have to watch getting them in like little creases in your spacesuit because they grind together and they're really porous. So.
But we agree on the big point of this, which is that we probably didn't go to the moon the first time. We definitely have been to the moon at some point, and I think we deserve to know why we won't go back. Is that fair to say?
Well, it was a lot of money to get there to begin with, and so if you were wondering why we're not going back, it was a lot of money to get there, and we spent that money to begin with just because we wanted to wave our hog around.
Because we wanted to beat the Russians.
Yeah, we were like, you drunk motherfuckers can't do this, and then we're like, all right,
fair enough,
we're gonna do it.
All right, my next conspiracy theory. Some of you probably aren't familiar for this, but a man that I watch on YouTube by the name of Merker Durka has done the research, and he has proposed a theory. All right, his thesis is called Helen Keller, Secret Retard. All right. Now the basis of this is: are you familiar with Helen Keller? You remember who she was? The blind deaf girl.
Yeah, was that the one where it was in Nazi Germany? And
no, that's Anne Frank. Don't feel bad. I confused them as well with Anne.
Well, then who the fuck is Helen Keller?
She was a blind deaf girl who learned to like.
Oh, the water.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know where I know that from, but
school. You know, they teach you things.
I read a book about. I guess it was Anne Frank, not Helen Keller.
But my point is, all right. She's blind and deaf, right? She didn't get blind or deaf until she's like 2 years old, right? From what I remember. And the argument is that she wasn't actually blind or deaf. She was retarded. And her parents wanted somebody to say that the kid wasn't retarded because they were like high class people, right? And the mentor or whatever her name was said that no, she's not retarded. She's blind and deaf. And the theory is that this mentor, or whatever you want to call her, whatever term you want to use for her, used Helen Keller as the puppet for her political views. Because does it not seem funny to you that Helen Keller's political views lined up exactly 100% with her mentor?
So I thought that Helen Keller and Anne Frank were obviously the same person. So I don't even know what you're getting at with the mentor and stuff like that. Yeah, I don't think that I'm the person to have this discussion with, because what are you talking about, fucking mentor? What'd she have a mentor for if she was retarded?
You don't remember the teacher that taught her? So, you know what, Brian? If you disagree that she's retarded, we can just move on at this point. We're both on the same page. There's no point to even discuss it anymore.
I know about the water thing. I don't know what I know that from.
The teacher that taught her, she would sign into her teacher's hand. Her teacher would speak for her, right? So hypothetically, she could just sit there and she's like, Helen believes that the president is a good president and that his policies are in line with what they should be.
So if the mentor was using her as her political pawn or whatever, what makes you think that Helen Keller had pull? Like if she was blind and deaf,
because it had the sensationalism of a blind deaf girl being able to talk through her teacher and having these profound thoughts and profound views. Let's be honest. If you're blind or deaf, why do you care who the president is? I think the only thing you should care is whether you're going to eat anymore, because you don't have the ability to feed yourself, really.
Okay.
So, like, why, and there's never been another case like this where a blind and deaf person has done anything of this sort, right?
So she's just really popular for some reason.
Because of the political views, the political stuff, that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm on Team Secret Retard. I think she's just retarded, and the teacher manipulated her for her political gain. Because once the teacher died, she never really gave speeches anymore.
Okay.
See what I'm getting at here?
Yep, she's retarded.
Yep. All right, on to the next one. We come to the conclusion.
She's retarded. I don't know what else to tell you. You remember when we were talking about people have like an energy about them, like an aura that they put off? Like you go to... You use the example, like I can go to one of my managers and they'll be like, I'll ask them, hey, what do you want me to do with this? And they'll be like, hold on, let me go ask. And then another manager that's in the same exact position would be like, go put that over there. Go do this with it. Go shove it up your ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What makes somebody have that about them? Like, I feel like it's more than just you talk to them and that's how you sense that type of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's they just walk in the room and they have that energy.
I think that's a good point. I think, well, part of it is confidence in their tenure. Like, naturally, like, how long have you been at your job? 2 years?
Like a year and a half.
Year and a half? Okay. So if a dude walked in tomorrow and they hired him on for your position, and somebody from one of the other departments came and asked you both the same question, you're going to be more likely to give them straight out an answer, right? Than the other person would be, right?
Yeah, I don't care whether it's wrong or not, though. I'm a different case.
Well,
I'm telling them the wrong answer on purpose. That's why I want to work at Tractor Supply for a little bit.
Yeah, this is the part you need for your tractor. Here, these tires should fit fine.
Oh yeah, I've had a horse like that before. It actually it's got those dots on it. Yeah. Well, the horse got AIDS. You got to give him this medicine. And then I'm the person that gives the horse medicine. That's what I want to do. I wanted to give the horse medicine and act like I know what I'm talking about.
You're just like, just flicking the needle. Yeah, there we go.
Let me make sure this is good.
Where do I inject the horse at? Anybody know? But, I mean, it has to do with tenure, confidence, and your self-confidence. Because if you go to somebody, I have a particular manager or employee or associate, somebody that works with me, where if I ask him any type of question, he will give me an answer, whether it is right, wrong, he does not care. There will be an answer given at that point. There, 100%. If I ask him, I will turn around and walk away knowing what he wants me to do. He has told me before, he said, I don't care if I'm right or wrong, you go do it. If I turn out to be wrong, I'll come back later and tell you. Okay, that is confidence in yourself and what you're doing. I have other managers where I don't ask them anything because I'm better off giving the answer to them on what I'm going to do with it. So I think it just all goes into, and what do you think, if you are a good manager in any position, which side should you be on? Should you be on the cautious side where you kind of have to go ask everybody else a question to make sure you're giving the right answer, or the just give them an answer so you give them an answer type of thing? You know, where
Well, I think that it's, if you're a good, I don't think that's a good question, because if you're a good manager, you're going to know the answer.
Well, I think the answer, no, because a good manager doesn't know
has
all
already
the
done the position, has already worked in and knows about the positions that they're managing.
I feel like a good manager doesn't always know the answer, but he will find the answer. Because if you ask me and I know for sure what the answer is, I'm not going to ask anybody else. I'm going to say, here's what you need to do.
If somebody that I'm managing comes up to me and asks me what happened to his dad,
what
the fuck how am I going to give him that answer? Like, if
well,
fucking kid comes up to me and ask me some dumbass question.
Well, obviously that doesn't affect your managerial ability. I mean, if I go to you, all right, just pick a job. Imagine we're working at a gas station, right? I've always wanted to work at a gas station for some reason. Maybe it's because I want to work by myself most of the time. So we're working there, and you come in, and I say, hey, I need to know what cleaner I need to use in the bathroom, right? That's a common question you would get asked. If there's a bathroom, they need to know what it needs to be cleaned with and how you want it done. Okay, so if you're like, hold on, let me text this person to see how they do it so I can tell you the right answer. Or you'd be like, we use soap and water here, sir. There's your answer. That's what you use. So that's where, like, if you know for sure, you tell them. If you don't know for sure, you find the answer out and give them that answer.
I feel like any question that they're going to ask you, I don't even know how we got on this topic, but I think that any question that they ask you is going to be a common sense question.
Not always.
That was the point that I was trying to get with.
So you meant, but then your employee's an idiot for asking you common sense questions, right?
Well,
not always, but I mean,
some people are super, I've never been like this, but are super, super, super afraid to lose their job. Like, if you're working at McDonald's and someone's yelling at them, they'll just sit there and they'll shut down. You know what I mean? Like, customers yelling at them or something. It's like, no, I would fucking tell that customer off. I mean, like, that customer can fucking, go do whatever. I'm not gonna sit there and take that. It's because they're so afraid to lose their job. Like, it didn't just fall in their lap because McDonald's hires anybody.
Well, I don't think that's a good example, but like my example would be like, imagine if you tell your worker how to go do something, right? You tell them to do this and how to do it. They come back 5 minutes later and ask you to re-explain to them. Is that they don't want to lose their job, or is that they want to make sure they do it right the first time? Which, do you think that's a positive trait? That they would want to come back and ask you to make sure they're doing it right?
Well, is this like something like, would this piss you off?
Or
would this make you happy? Because it would obviously piss me off, because it's like, so they didn't listen to me the first time.
Well, no, because I think that depends on the way you phrase it. All right, so let's role play here for a sec. All right, you be my manager and explain to me how. Just explain to me how you'd want me to. If we're working at a gas station, tell me what you want me to do and tell me how to go do it.
All right, I want you to go clean the shit from the toilet. Okay, it's clogged up and there's shit on the floor.
Okay.
I want you to go and get a mop, and I want you to also get some gloves, and you're gonna pick the shit up off the floor.
All right.
You're gonna throw it in our competitor next door's lobby, and you finish your job up and mop up, the water that's on the floor, and
Okay.
and when you're done, come back here.
All right. So imagine this. Imagine I leave, right? And I come back. I'm like, hey, I just want to clarify something with you. I know you said you wanted me to mop it up and then throw it in the competitor's lobby next door. But do you also want me to snake the drain, or do you want me just to use a plunger on it and go with that?
That's different because I didn't say anything about that. I just
That's
said go do that.
That's why I'm asking, because that's part of the job that needs done, and you didn't clarify that. That's why I'm
But
coming.
I didn't tell you to do it, so you could have
Yes,
just.
you told me that the toilet was clogged and that there was shit on the floor and it needed taken care of, and then you proceeded to tell me how to take care of it. You did not mention how to unclog the toilet. That's
That
why.
stays clogged up. That's why there's shit on the floor.
Well, obviously, in a real life scenario, we wouldn't leave the toilet clogged up. So if your employee comes back to you, repeats to you what you told him, and then asks about something you didn't mention, how can you get mad at them?
Well,
That's
in
not a
that
dumb
situation,
question.
I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's where if they just come back to you and they're like, what did you want me to do again? You're going to get mad because it's like, dude, I already told you once. But that's where, as a worker, you have to understand how to talk to people.
So you were in a manager position.
Yeah, I manage every day, baby. I manage everything.
So how did you do that? How did you handle situations like that, or what did you do?
Usually, either intense anger and walking away, or most of the time, I left no room for error the first time when I explained to them how to do something. I wouldn't tell anybody to go do something. I would say, hey, let's walk over here. Let's talk about what you're going to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it right the first time. And then I would go back to doing my job.
Yeah, but what if it's something that they should know how to do?
If it's something they've done before, then I just tell them to go, and they would know they can come to me. And all my associates did a good job of saying, hey, I know what you said to do, but here's a question I have that you didn't exactly clarify. Then I would clarify it, and then they'd go off and do what they were told to do. That's where, if you have a group of people that know how to talk to each other, it minimizes those type of interactions where it's misunderstanding, really, right? That's pretty much what it all boils down to, is misunderstanding. But you never answered the question I asked in the first place. Would you rather have a manager above you that has to ask somebody else every time you ask them a question to give you an answer? Or would you rather have a manager who every time gives you an answer, but it's wrong half the time?
Well, I tell you what, I'd probably take the one that's probably wrong half the time.
So instead of getting an answer right the first time, every time, but having to wait a little bit longer, you'll just do it wrong half the time and be happy with that?
Yeah. I don't like to be managed.
Fair enough. But my thing is, I want to do it right the first time. That's my thing. Is I don't ever want to have to go back and do something that somebody told me to do again, because one, it pisses me off that you're talking to me about this when I already handled it. Whether I did it right or wrong, it's done. It's not getting handled again. So I want to know how to do it right the first time. Now, whether that is on the manager to tell me how to do it right the first time, or it's on me to figure out how they want me to do it the first time.
You saying that makes me think that that's happened to you a lot.
What?
Manager telling you something, making it sound very similar or very correct, I guess. But then it being wrong.
Well, yeah, it happens at every job. But it's specifically at mine, it happened all the time. So I got to a point where it became, Brandon's the manager. Brandon's going to do it how he wants to do it, and they're going to leave Brandon alone. And that's generally what happened. And it all worked out pretty well. I never really had many issues as far as like I did something wrong and they were upset with me. It was like, hey, did you do this yet? No, I'll take care of it. All right. Then
But you did quit your job.
I didn't quit. I tried to quit. They talked me out of it. I'm just doing something else different.
So are you going to talk about why?
No, I don't think that really needs to put out into this type of sphere. I think it's just to say I felt like I needed a change in what I was doing. They offered me that change in a way that let me stay where I was at, and I took it.
I mean, that's fair enough. What we were talking about, though, was someone that puts off the energy that
they know everything.
they know everything, because that's something bad.
Well, it's like
That's related to something
the
bad.
confidence, I guess. A confident.
Well, do you have to have a big ego to be able to put off
No.
that energy?
No, because there's a way to do it and be confident in your job, but not be confident in everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're specifically talking about a job setting. So if you seem confident in what you're doing, you just know what you're doing. Um, I have a talent for sounding like I'm very confident in something.
And that's why you're managed.
When I have never done it before or know how to do it, I will talk to you like I do, and I will explain to you, like, the technique I use is, say I know how to do this part of it, right? And I know how to do this part of it, right? So I know how to do the first part and the last part, but I'm not sure on the middle. I will give you every detail there is to how to start it and finish it, and just pretend I know how to do the middle. And normally people go with it. So that's a talent. But that's where it's like I felt like I always tried to be the person that was confident in their job, could give you an answer if you needed it, because I had worked in a lot of different places and within my position, and I could give you an answer about everything, or I'd find the answer for you. So I tried to be the one that somebody could come and ask a question to, and I would get the answer, but also I didn't know everything. It's a fine line you have to where, like, to be approachable versus to be arrogant.
Well, you keep relating it back to the job thing, but it doesn't have to be just with the job thing. I'm saying, like, that person puts off a aura that's like that person is important. Or
I think it's rare for me anyway to encounter those type of people outside of my workplace.
Customers. You have a lot of customers that come through. So
yeah, generally it's either I have no idea what I need, will you help me, or I know exactly what I need and I'm probably wrong.
Okay.
At least for me and what I'm doing, that's what you encounter. With you, it's not, you don't really handle customers, right? So with you fulfill the customer's wishes, but somebody else is the one figuring out what they want. So that's where it's like a little bit different.
Okay, well, talking about the energy that they put off, or not the energy they put off, but they can give you an answer, right?
Yeah.
How does one get to a point where they don't second guess themselves? Like, because that's a point, like, someone gives you an answer, you clap, you
right
can
away.
clap back right away.
But I think there's a fine line where, like, you need to understand that you don't have to do that every time, where it might be better for you to say, I'm not 100% sure, let me find out for you. Whereas if you truly don't know, it's okay to be like, I don't know, but I will find out. Because, like, if you're dealing with anybody in any type of scenario and you tell them you don't know and leave it at that, they're going to be upset, right? Because it's like, dude, you didn't even try to figure out what I wanted you to figure out. But if you say, I don't know, let me find out, I'll be right back, that leads to a positive experience with that person.
So do you think it's confidence?
I don't know if it's confidence or more so an understanding of
having enough self-assurance that
well, I want to say it's an understanding of customer service, but again, I'm relating it to my job.
Well, I don't know why you keep doing it. I said it doesn't have to.
Because I told you, for the most part, this is where I experience these type of interactions at. I'm not going to the grocery store and just asking the cashier, like, hey, you know where the onions are? And I'm not judging them, because 9 times out of 10, they know what the onions are. Now, I will tell you this. We went up to Goodwill, all right? And I had pulled my mask down under my nose, right? And this is in another state. This wasn't in our state. So I wasn't 100% sure of, like, the rules or the guidelines or whatever, the laws. I pulled it down to breathe. Just get, that breath of fresh air in through your nose.
Mm-hmm.
And this girl looked at me. She said, sir, I'm going to need you to pull your mask up over your nose.
As soon as you did
it? Damn near it. And, of course, that caused me to keep an eye on this person, to listen to how they talk to other people. And she was, like, brand new there. It was like her first day or second day. And she's talking to customers like that. I wish somebody had the confidence to speak to me like that in my store. Because you ain't talking to Brandon like that. All right? So that is a situation where it's like, I judge that person on my interaction with them. And, oh, you got the confidence, do you? Yeah, you know what it's like, don't you? So that's one.
You know what? She's probably a Democrat.
You voted for Bernie Sanders, didn't you?
Stupid bitch. Um,
Who are you voting for, Brian?
Nobody. If voting mattered, they wouldn't let us do it.
What?
Off of that, if voting mattered, they wouldn't let us do it. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, would you say that, that self-assurance, would you say that it's self-assurance? Would you say that it's confidence? What would you say the energy that the person puts off?
I think confidence will affect it. I think self-assurance will affect it, but I don't know what to call it. Because if you're not confident, you're going to seem like you're not confident, and that's going to affect what vibes you're giving off. I think it's a big combination of a bunch of different things, right?
Well, I think you can also hear it in the person's voice, whether they're
Yep.
confident with what they're saying or not. Because like, if you listen to, like one of our podcasts,
Yeah.
when it gets to something that one of us doesn't know what we're talking about, you can hear like
The hesitation.
almost not even just the hesitation, but like the voice. You
Like
speaking
right
isn't as
now.
your speaking isn't as full.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I also think that there's times where a person could talk to you like they know 100% what they're doing, and they don't. So that's where it's like it's not so much about confidence in what they're doing; it's about confidence and giving you an answer and wanting you to leave is a big part of it too. So I said confidence affects it, self-assurance affects it, knowledge of whatever you're asking them about would affect it. So I think with each person it's a little bit different because you can have low self-confidence but sound like you know what you're talking about, but it's rare.
But how often do they actually know what they're talking about if they put off that much energy or that sort of energy?
That's a question I can't answer.
I saw a chart the other day that I thought was really interesting. So if you imagine just like XY chart, right? It's like that.
Yeah.
So you have like from let's say the bottom is time learning, and then confidence and knowledge is
Why?
why. So you have what do you call it? Like a curve that goes up and it peaks all the way at the top of the confidence and knowledge.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning of time learning, because you feel like, you know what? You're to a point where you're like, well, I'm learning. Let's say I can use this program. I'm doing pretty good with it. And as soon as you get past that peak of, you think that you know everything about this program, you learn. You're like, oh, well, now I know how much there is to go. So then it just plummets straight back down, to almost where it took off. And then it sort of just flatlines until you get to a point where it's not even like you can't judge it yourself whether you're good at something or not.
Yeah.
Someone else, you have to be acknowledged that you're good at it.
Someone else
and then that's where
is good at it has to say that you're good at it before you
other people in the field or whatever
have to approve of you.
Have to like acknowledge your skills or whatever.
Well,
and that's where the I don't know, title expert comes from, I guess.
Well, my thing is that also depends on what you're learning, right? Because there's some things that you can learn everything about in a day and have 100% confidence in it, and then your confidence never wanes. It goes straight up and it stays there.
Like changing a tire?
Well, no, because I've been doing my job for altogether probably 8 months now. That's not a long time, but for what I'm doing, there's not a lot that I really need to know how to do. And we're on an XY chart of my confidence. So it starts here, and we're here. We're still here. It's just bam, right on the bottom. Because I know I don't know everything. I shouldn't be training people, but I will talk to somebody like I know what I'm doing.
You ever see a Family Guy episode of Brian gets a job at like a
Home Depot,
and then he walks around like, you know what, this door is it's kind of crooked. We need to make it plumb. When was this built? And then she was like, I don't know when it was built. And she's like, so it looks straight to me. And he's like, what does that mean? It looks straight to me. What does that mean? Oh, you mean plumb? Yeah, it's plumb. Because he has to use the lingo because he knows what he's talking about.
Well, that's the type of thing where it's like you're confident. You have complete confidence, but you have no idea what you're actually talking about. So your confidence in knowledge versus your actual knowledge. I think it's like perceived knowledge versus actual knowledge is on a much different level. I have a question for you, and this is a heavy question.
Okay.
Okay. Now you look me in the eyes when I say it to you, boy. Do you believe in Bigfoot?
What are we thinking about Bigfoot? Like a
Excuse me?
bear that stood up, a really big gorilla.
Excuse
What
me,
what are- what are
a
we thinking?
bear that stood up. You think for 1 minute a bear
No, I'm
standing
asking you
up?
what you think Bigfoot is.
Sasquatch.
So like a completely different species.
It is a cryptoid.
A completely different species.
Yeah, I guess is the way to put it. Yeah. Or an amalgamation of different species. It could be. I don't know. That's why I'm
No.
asking you. You don't believe in Bigfoot.
But I do
Alright.
believe in reptilians.
You believe in
alien
lizard
race.
people, but you don't believe in Bigfoot.
Oh no, I believe there's probably like a list about 23 aliens that I believe in, and it's more than just listening to Alex Jones. The reason I believe in it, I saw, I guess this is another reason, but I saw a video of somebody. It was somebody in power in the government, but he was giving a speech to, fuck, was it this? It's like the House of Delegates or something, um, talking about and it's being suppressed, the knowledge that we are living among 23 different alien species. And it includes like the Greys, and it includes the Ana Anakis, Anunnakis,
I'm just
and
make up a word. That's what they're doing.
reptilians.
Now, I'm not going to say I don't believe in aliens, but for you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you believe there's little green people running around the earth,
I didn't say
but
there
yeah, you just said you believe aliens are living among us, but you don't believe in Bigfoot. Hurts me because I don't trust your knowledge anymore, Brian.
well, you see, Brandon,
So it
I
is less
asked you what you
believable.
think that Bigfoot is, and you still didn't like. Like,
You believe
do you think that it is a abnormality creature? Do you think that it's something left over from do you think there's only one of them? Do you think that there's a entire
I feel like there has to be more than one, but they're in danger.
So where are they at? Where do you think they're at?
Appalachia,
Around here.
Canada. Yeah.
Okay, so where'd you see the one at that you're
I've never
talking about?
seen one, but I'm
Okay,
saying
so then why do you believe in it?
because there are things, Brian, I ain't never seen a polar bear. But do you think polar bears don't exist because you've never seen one?
Technically. If we are just creating everything around us in our minds, our consciousness is just creating everything around us.
Get out of here.
You know, everybody's reality is different. So, I mean,
Brian,
I've never seen I've never seen Mac Miller, Juice World, die. So that doesn't mean that they're not dead.
that's my point. Just because you've never seen a polar bear, don't mean there aren't polar bears. Because you never.
No, it's like
Bigfoot.
I maybe I made it up that they're dead.
But other people have said that, not you.
Okay, but if my mind is creating my reality,
But it's not.
it's perceiving my reality, and
Fair enough.
If manifestation is real, then I'm creating my own reality.
But you're not. Your
So
reality
in my
is
head,
being created around
every
you.
song that's ever been made
It's by you.
Yeah. By my consciousness.
That can't be true because we cannot both perceive the same song.
Well, how do I know that you're not a
both-
gray person? How do I
That's a
know
good
that
question.
nobody else is gray people and I'm the
sole survivor?
Yeah.
You
Or
don't?
maybe I'm in the
It's
simulation and everybody else is NPCs.
No, that would be fun.
You fucking piss me off, you Preston Garvey looking motherfucker.
Not black. Not black. Half black. Maybe. I don't know. I got black cousins down the line somewhere. Who knows? Anyway, I think it is arrogant of humans to think that we are the only species that are alive. I think it's arrogant to think that we're the only ones.
Only human? What are you saying? Intelligent life?
Yeah, pretty much. I think it's arrogant to think that we're the only ones, like, in the entire universe. Like, we can't be. Like, logically, we can't be the only ones out there. And something that I don't know if you've done. I haven't done it, but I think we should. So you know where Obama declassified all of the Area 51 stuff,
Not all of it.
but a good portion of it, enough to where you can actually read into it.
Well, they said that they've recovered spacecraft not of this world. Now, that could be, you know, something crashing down from fucking
Like
space.
Roswell.
It could be like space, coming from space, or it could be like, well, this really smart aerospace engineer was making something in his garage and he died and left it and we found this. So technically, did he make it, or did he recover it, or they don't know. It's just something that the government didn't make.
I thought the government would just say like, yeah, this was made on Earth. Why I don't think they would even entertain the idea of that, alien technology or whatever, unless there was a chance it was actually true, like an actual possibility that is what happened. I don't think they would even entertain that. But here's also something else that I want to talk about. All right. If I were Donald Trump, no, I'm not going to say if I were. Everything that we know about Donald Trump, whether you like him or hate him or love him or don't care about him, I think we can all agree. I find it hard to believe this man can go to the White House, be told that there's green people running around on Earth and that there's reptile people, and him not go straight up to a press conference and tell everybody.
Okay, so let's get a couple things clear here.
Okay.
First up, you know how Donald Trump said, I'm going to do all this stuff, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to lower taxes, all this other stuff. He hired a a treasurer or whatever you call him.
Secretary, treasurer or something like that. Secretary, treasurer.
Whatever. It was a guy, and he hired him to be able to, figure out the
money situation.
The economy. Yeah, right. So not too long after that, the guy came out and he's like, hey, we're going to have to raise interest rates and we're going to have to do this, because he understood that our entire economy, our entire stock market is just a big bubble.
It's close to popping.
Yeah, it's just a big bubble, really close to popping. And inflation in the next 5 years, oh my God. Okay. But inflation's going to be insane. I feel like there's a reason they're trying to take coins out of circulation, and something to do with like, they actually have value. Coins actually have value. Paper money has no value.
Everybody it's backed by this intent of, hey, this is worth $5. Here's what it's worth. It doesn't actually have any value. It's just paper.
Yeah. So he fired that guy as soon as
he made the report.
Yeah, he reported that to him and was like, we're going to lower interest. We're going to lower interest rates. We're going to actually go to the audio only version.